When it rains, it pours. We have new information about the next team coming to Marvel Strike Force, the Daring Warriors. So it was just a few short days ago that we heard about the champions. And so now we know about the next team, the Daring Warriors. We just have a little bit of information that they're starting to sprinkle out, but it's very informative. So what we're going to do is look at kind of the speculation, stuff that we don't know, put some pieces together and start working towards what we do know. Now, I'm not sure where you're at in the news cycle today, but you've probably seen the splash screen here. Maybe it's presenting on your device. Maybe you've seen another video. And what do we have? What do we have here? Well, front and center, we have Annihilus. So as we get into chapter 4 of our release cycle here for the Age of Annihilus, do we now get to see his story, see how he's going to make his move, and see what we have to do to counteract him, face off against this individual, so we can start acquiring him in our roster. Perhaps, again, we see him really big. He's large front and center. So the Age of Annihilus, we recognize one way or the other, has to come to a conclusion. Well, what else do we see in the picture there? We have individuals that we've seen before. For example, we have Jeff the Land Shark, as well as other members of the champions. So we see Moon Girl, Devil Dinosaur, and we see Kid Nova on the right-hand side. In addition, we have Magneto Phoenix Force facing off against a character that we have not seen before in Marvel Strike Force. This is indeed an original Marvel Strike Force character. Perhaps this is the individual known as Umbra. We're going to be putting the pieces together with that shortly. But first, we want to focus on the other two members. That way, we'll be able to tie all the strings together. So on the right-hand side, on the other two members that we see are two characters that we have not yet seen inside of Marvel Strike Force. They are, though, part of Marvel lore. So the individual there in the black and red, that is Night Thrasher. Night Thrasher is the founding member of the New Warriors. So perhaps we're looking at a New Warriors rework when it comes to Marvel Strike Force, and now they're called the Daring Warriors. So the New Warriors are youngsters, right? They're kind of teenagers, young adults who are trying to fight crime, but now perhaps they're going to signify that they've grown up, they've graduated, they now are going to be on a strike team. So perhaps now they're called the Daring Warriors. Now, Night Thrasher, he doesn't have any powers. He's kind of like the Batman of Marvel, right? He doesn't have any powers. He's a guy, he has some money. His parents got killed and he wants vengeance. So he goes out in the streets and he fights against criminals, okay? Now, story-wise, he does not know that the people that raised him are actually the individuals that killed his parents. It's really interesting. There's kind of a mystic tie in there that I'm kind of not digging, but that's the origin of the character. He doesn't have any powers. He uses his superior martial art fighting skills, gadgets, weapons, things like that to fight. Again, he's just like Batman, except he's kind of remade into the Marvel image. The reason why he's called Night Thrasher is the individual that came up with him was kind of trying to, right, the time that he was invented, skateboarding was a really big deal. So there was a magazine called Thrasher, and so he kind of put those kind of elements together. One of his tech that he has that he built is a custom skateboard. And again, that's kind of just a little bit, right, of where the origin of the character comes from. The individual built on it from there. What about that second individual? That is Speedball. Speedball is also a founding member of the New Warriors. His power set is really, really interesting. So he kind of, it's hard to explain. He kind of controls momentum, okay? So if you were to punch him, right, kinetic energy, you were to punch him, he would simply rebound, right? He would simply bounce away just like you punched a balloon or something like that. And then he would kind of try to use that energy to ping pong around and knock out his opponents. As his power got better, he started realizing, hey, I can, like you said, he can control momentum. So just like Neo in the Matrix, he could just put his hand out and like stop bullets and things like that. Also taking that energy, redirecting it so he can make his punches and things like that a lot stronger. And he's typically seen in this weird suit. And he has these blue and yellow bubbles that are kind of around him when his power is activated. So he's a really interesting character. And I'm really, really, really interested to see how they bring him to life inside of Marvel Strike Force. So we think about Cannonball, for example. Cannonball of the New Mutants, right? When we saw him in the comics, right, it's always going to be still frame. So we're always imagining, well, how would that actually look? How would that ability actually look in real life? And so again, I think the designers did an amazing job showing us what Cannonball's power set looks like in real time. So I am also very, very anxious and excited to see what they do to bring Speedball to life. He's a weird character. So seeing how his abilities are going to be displayed, I'm really curious to see how that's going to go. That brings us to that third character. So Magneto Phoenix Force is facing off against that Marvel Strike Force original character who we're going to call right now Umbra. Now, why are we calling her that? We're not even sure if that's her name, but let's put the pieces together. If we look back to the Winter Guard storyline, the campaign that they had in the storyline, they were tasked, right? Their mission is to find this secret operative that Victoria Hand had that went missing, that hasn't checked in, codename Umbra. So while they're searching, they talk to Tony Stark, right? They talk to Tony Stark, and he says, yeah, he saw her. She's a Jaguar fan and has this energy sword, okay? Those are two very, very important clues. So if we look at Umbra, she seems to be patterned after the Aztec warriors, the Jaguar. So if you're a Jaguar, right, that's kind of like their elite fighters. If you're a Jaguar, that's the elite fighter. So she seems to be patterned off of that design. Now, the Aztec weapon, the mah-KWAH-weetl, right? Brushing up on Aztecs, hit me in the comments if I'm saying it wrong. Mah-KWAH-weetl is that Aztec club or sword that you see that she has there. And clearly, it's an energy sword of some sort. So being a Jaguar fan, leaning into that Aztec culture, right? That influence that they're using to build the character, having that special sword, right? That all fits in line with the character that they're trying to, that we're going after as far as the Winter Guard. So we'll see how this is going to be expanded as time goes on. So what do you think? Do you think that we're on the right track? Is her name Umbra, or is it just, again, a code name? One of the interesting things is right now in Marvel Comics, in the aftermath of the Doom storyline, there is a character of Wakanda. He's wearing Wakandan armor. They make it very clear that he's not Wakandan. This is a male, and they're calling him Umbra. Okay, so is there perhaps some type of a tie-in? Do we kind of have the reverse going on? Could this character be of Talokan? And this is the tech that they use in Talokan, and this is the a warrior for that purpose. Could be, right? So what is the origin going to be of this character? Okay, are they going to be, in your opinion, are they a mystic character? Right? They have the little spirit animal. There's that rabbit there. So is this some type of a spirit guide? Right? Or is this a tech character? Is this a power armor suit that she's wearing? And again, the bunny rabbit is maybe an extension of the AI, right? Kind of like Jarvis, but it's out there in the real world. It's an extension of the AI. So maybe, again, it can go and helps with missions and things like that. We're not sure. As far as the Marvel Strike Force original characters go, though, there is one trait that we haven't seen so far, and that is mutant. So could she perhaps be a mutant character? Now, Marvel original characters are always, not always, but in many cases, they're dual traded. So it could be two things happening at once. What are your thoughts? Think she's mystic, tech, mutant, some combination of both, or two things, right? You let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, this is this part that this is what we know so far. We're speculating on, I should say. This is what we're speculating on. So let's move into kind of what we do know. We have this information here that they gave us. It should be popping up on the website relatively soon. But let's go ahead and look at this and see where we're at. It says, for the eyes of the envoys and all strike personnel. Subject, classified deployment alert, the daring warriors identified. The following confidential transmission has been broadcast across all encrypted strike clearance channels, level 7 above. So I like when they give these hints like this. Let's look at it. Commanders, a new directive has been issued from Strike High Command. The daring warrior squad is preparing for deployment in high-risk multi-front engagements where adaptability, momentum control, and tactical audacity are essential. Now, let's pause there. Momentum control refers to Speedball. Tactical audacity, I'm pretty confident, refers to Night Thrasher. So adaptability must be the feature that we're looking at when it comes to our person codename Umbra, that new Marvel Strike Force original character. These operatives have been flagged for immediate clearance in Cosmic Crucible combat simulations. Further analysis indicates their combat profiles will also be highly effective during upcoming battle world operations, where unpredictable terrain and escalating threats demand fearless execution under fire. This is a Cosmic Crucible team. There will be, in some way, shape, or form, battle world bonuses. Now, this might be leaning into the next battle world, which is going to be to unlock the Maestro. Okay. That would be, again, story-wise, if you're a Marvel comic fan, story-wise, that would be significant. Night Thrasher got killed, but he really didn't. He kind of got sucked in to the battle world of that time. And when Maestro took over, he returned Night Thrasher back to Earth because he was a threat to his plan. So that might be some things that that tie the threads, I should say, that tie some of this stuff together. The Daring Warrior Strike Team consists of the following operatives: Night Thrasher, a master tactician and street-level combatant, armed with advanced gear and unmatched battlefield awareness. Trained to lead from the front, Night Thrasher thrives in close-quarter engagements, leveraging precision strikes and strategic control to overwhelm opponents before they can react. What does that mean to you? Is Night Thrasher going to be a brawler, or is he going to be a protector? Right? He likes to get in there up close and personal. He's trained to lead from the front. He's going to want to get up in there. How do you think that's going to come around? Is he going to be a brawler? Is he going to be a protector? Speedball, a kinetic anomaly capable of converting momentum into devastating offensive power. Highly unpredictable, Speedball brings explosive energy and chaos management to the team, turning enemy aggression into their downfall. Now, we have our third character whose name is redacted. It says operative profile classified. Known details are restricted to personnel with appropriate clearance. Further information will be disseminated strictly on a need-to-know basis. So they're keeping it hush-hush, but we do know that this is a Marvel Strike Force original character, and those characters are wrong, especially when they enter. They are usually meta-defining. They bring something very new and different to the game. Very curious to see how our character is going to be presented. Further intel on each operative's abilities, as well as the other members of the team, will be declassified in the near future. Directive: continue standard raid readiness drills and prepare for tactical integration. End of transmission. So I think that just means we're supposed to continue to keep working on our champions when they come to the game, and right, we just keep things going from there. Now, we did speculate that these characters I speculate, I should say, are the graduation from the new warriors. So, what new warriors could make this new team? Let's go to the game and have a look for ourselves, see if we can figure this out. So here we are in game, and we have our new warriors tab pulled up here because I believe that the new warriors, right, some of these characters here are going to receive reworks and work and become part of the new Daring Warrior team. Now, which characters could those be? Well, if we just go right down the line there, we got Gwenpool here first. Gwenpool is just recently reworked and is made a part of the Retcon team. So since she just recently got a rework and she's on a brand new team, we don't think that it's going to be Gwenpool that gets the rework. The next character is Deathpool. Now, Deathpool is also a Marvel Strike Force original character. So she could be extremely powerful. If they gave her a bump in stats, she'd be ridiculous, man. She would be really, really cool. But again, she is not a recent rework, but right now she is on the Mercs for Money team. The team is a little bit older. We're pulling Deathpool off that to go with the Retcon team. So it's possible that she could be slated for a rework. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? That would be interesting. She's a good character. Very, very strong. But I don't know if she's the individual we want. At least that's not who I think is going to be the case. Next up, we have Firestar. Same deal. She was on the New Warrior team. She's got a really good kit. She hits really hard. She'd be a great candidate for a rework. I thought when Orcus was being rumored that she would be reworked then and go on that team, because during the Krakoan storyline, Firestar was kind of being a double agent, and she was pretending that she was being part of Orcus. So I thought maybe that'd be the place to rework her, but maybe now is her time. I don't think so. That's not who gets my vote. She's not the one who gets my vote, but maybe now is the time. What I think is going to happen is we're going to see a rework of Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger were pivotal members of the original New Warrior team in the game. They did join the team in different spurts, right? There were different variations of the New Warriors. I don't think they were there at the same time that Night Thrasher was, but it's a possibility, right? It's a possibility. They already obviously have Cosmic Crucible traits in their kit, right? They're made for Crucible. So all we could really need to do is turn them up a little bit and they'd be good to go. Now, another thing that's interesting is they do have some raid callouts here. We were told to continue raid readiness. Again, that might be a long shot. I don't think that has anything to do. I think that's referring to the champions, but it is something to consider. So what are your thoughts? Do you think that Cloak and Dagger are going to be the reworked characters? Do you think that I'm going totally in a different direction and they're going to pull something completely different, right? Marvel Strike Force, right now, we're going on year number 8, right? We're coming up on year number 8. They are their own world right now, right? Marvel proper considers them to be their own universe. So they can do anything they want. They can pull other characters, things that we're not even thinking about. So who do you think would be the 2 reworked members that would join this team? Again, my vote is for Cloak and Dagger, but they could be going a completely different direction. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And hey, if you haven't seen this video right here, please check it out. It's legit.